Hi, my name is Maina. I'm one of the surgery technicians at DoveLewis, and today we're going to be reviewing pulse oximetry, or SpO2. The purpose of this equipment is to monitor the hemoglobin concentration of oxygen, or the amount of hemoglobin in the red blood cells that are holding oxygen. It's a great indicator of how they are perfusing oxygen throughout their body and their capability of utilizing it. So in the ER setting, it's great for cardiac patients or respiratory distress patients, and particularly in surgery, it's important for us to know exactly what's going on throughout the procedure and how well our gas delivery is going to this patient. We have a couple different options in terms of equipment. Of course, we have our portable pulse ox unit. All of our anesthetic monitoring units have pulse ox adapters on them as well. But some clinics might also have different probe types. I'm sure most people are familiar with the small clamp, but there are also flat probes, and even rectal probes are an option too. As far as locations of placement for this equipment, the standard locations for our clip type are, of course, the tongue. You can use gums of the patient. If it's not too pigmented, you can use thin areas of skin, like the webbing between toes. You can use the prepuce and the vulva as well. If you have areas of thin skin that have been shaved, maybe following an ultrasound or something, that can be used as well. It won't work very well on pigmented skin, thick skin. Also, if your patient is having any problems with perfusion, whether it's blood pressure, blood volume, temperature, if they're a very hypothermic patient, the peripheral vessels are constricted, so they'll get a hard time for reading there as well. For our alternative probes, such as the flat one here, you can do that on the tail in a similar location where you would place a Doppler probe and tape that to the area. You can also do the toe pads or the foot pads that can be taped there as well. This works really well on cats, more so than the dogs, because of the pigment. And occasionally it'll also work if a patient has a shaved area on their body where you can place it between the surface of the table and their skin. For the rectal probes, it can also be placed similarly as a flat probe on the paw and the tail, but again, it can also be placed rectally, and we don't want to place it all the way into the colon. It goes into the sphincter itself, so making sure that we're not placing it too deep. The normal ranges for our pulse ox is 95 to 100. Obviously, in the surgical setting where we have a circuit with direct oxygen delivery, we're expecting more like 99, 100. Obviously, all of our monitoring equipment has the tendency to cause us troubles. Some of the common areas or issues that we have and things that you can do to troubleshoot. Obviously, the location might not be optimal. Consider changing the location of where you're attempting to get your SpO2. Also, in areas of the mucous membrane, if it gets really dry, it'll have a hard time with connectivity, so you can moisten the area with something like tap water or saline. We don't recommend gauze that has been moistened, because the gauze itself can reflect the light, which the probe needs in order to measure that hemoglobin concentration. Obviously, consider your cardiac function and your perfusion. If you are getting abnormal or low numbers, check that your heart rate and blood pressure are within normal ranges. And that's our review of pulse oximetry and SpO2.